and are released from the bondage of your grief. Here now we have the return of the maiden. This beautiful thing was found in an Italian estate, the garden of an Italian estate, but those who know about these things declare that the style is that of 5th century Greece. And it is a beautiful thing, the tenderness of the whole composition of the return now, after having gone down into the agonies of whatever it might have been in the underworld, the return of Persephone. And this gorgeous thing, there she is. This is a lovely bronze of Persephone. And equivalent to her is the stalk of a golden stalk of wheat. Now, Clement of Alexandria mocks the Eleusinian mysteries and says what a silly thing to have the culminating moment be that of the elevation of a grain of wheat. Those of you who know anything about the Roman Catholic Mass know that the culmination is the elevation of a wafer of wheat. It's not the object, it's the reference that is the sense of a ritual, and any object can become the center of the cult. And in this case, it is the wonderful food plant, that which nourishes our physical life, as the nourisher also of our spiritual life, by being consumed with the understanding that it is a divine gift. In the earliest primitive rites associated with food plants, the typical myth is, the underlying myth, of a deity of some kind who has been killed, cut up, and buried. And out of the buried parts of the deity, the grain comes, or whatever the food plant. Longfellow's Hiawatha speaks of the visionary experience of a young man who went forth for vision, and a young deity comes to him and wrestles with him for 3 nights, and then on the 4th night says, now you're going to kill me and bury me. And out of this comes the grain of maize. The meditation is that we are eating divine substance, and this divine substance is what is feeding us, and it isn't just physical substance. And that's part of the meditation, how our whole life is a life that is supported by the giving and yielding of some transcendent power. People ask me sometimes, what rituals can we have? You've got the rituals, only you're not meditating on them. When you eat a meal, that's a ritual. Just realize what you're doing. When you consort with your friends, that's a ritual. Just think what you're doing. When you beget a child or give birth to a child, what more do you want? Here is this young youth now, Philoctetes, who is going to go forth with the grain. He is being blessed by Demeter and Persephone. And there he goes, being blessed. And here is the vehicle. Here he is as an old man on this mystic vehicle with the blessing of the wheat, the grain. And here is Hermes, who is leading him with the caduceus as his staff. Now we're going to turn this vase around, and we see Dionysos being led by a satyr. The bread and the wine of the Mass. What the rituals of the early Christian tradition were built on were rituals that were already there. And so we get a sense of how rites and myths do develop organically without breaking off. New readings, new vocabularies, new sophistications are brought in. This is the chalice of the Mass with the blood of Dionysos, which is the wine, the transubstantiated wine. But in this ritual, it doesn't even have to be transubstantiated because it is already the divine wine. Now, the story of the birth of Dionysos, he's born from the thigh of Zeus. Zeus had a way of giving birth to children. He swallowed Athene's mother when he knew that she was pregnant. And then, of course, one day he has a fine headache. She's given birth already, and he's got to be the medium. And he's screaming with a headache when the Vulcan, the mechanic of the gods, comes in and with an axe splits Zeus's head open, and out jumps Athene, fully armed, voila. And here we have a similar thing now with Dionysos. Semele, Dionysos' mother, had conceived of Zeus. And she had the indiscretion to boast of this to Hera, Zeus's wife. And Hera said, yes, darling, but Zeus has not revealed himself to you in the same majesty with which he has revealed himself to me. So next time Zeus comes along, she's sulking. And he says, what's the matter? She says, well, you haven't revealed yourself to me in the same majesty as to Hera. Well, he said, now look out, you're not quite ready for this. And she said, well, you've always told me you'd do anything I asked. He said, all right, look out, girlie, bang. And that was the end of her. But then he was very much concerned about the fetus in her womb. And so he took it out and slit open his thigh and put Dionysos in there. So Dionysos is the one of two wombs, the female mother life and then the male initiation rite. And then, of course, he has a pain in his leg one day, and here comes Hermes now to receive the little child who's just been born on a golden cloth, and he turns her over to the three nymphs. And so little Dionysos is raised and brought up by the nymphs. Here he is at the tree, here is the serpent, here's the whole story again. It's wonderful the way these things recur. It doesn't take too much time and study to learn this pictorial vocabulary. It's a pictorial script, and the rearranging of the forms rearranges the order of the experience, the depth of the experience, or the precise relevance to this or that myth.